This is so embarrassing. Hello, my foresty friends, it's me, Autumn, and we're gonna do something a little special. So, here's the context. About a year ago, I would say like a year ago, maybe a year or two ago, but like, I used to be a part of this fandom called the Cookie Run fandom, and I used to play the game, Cookie Run. And to explain what Cookie Run is basically like this gacha game where you play as cookies and you run. That's the gist of it. And it was during this time in this fandom that I started wanting to write. I was starting to be more active on AO3 and I was reading a lot more fan fiction, and I thought that I could try my hand at it. So, what you're seeing here is my first and my only fan fiction that I've ever written. Oh god, I really don't know how to approach this because I'm very embarrassed about this. I can explain what it is. So, this fan fiction was based on an AU I had for Cookie Run. So in Cookie Run there was like a bunch of characters obviously, and some of the characters were like actual kids. And I thought about this AU where like all of the kids are like grown up and the world is like set a little bit different. It was a lot more edgier, I remember. Think Riverdale, but it's Cookie Run characters, and that's basically like the idea. And also think like it was like heavily inspired off of like Harry Potter and like My Little Witch Academy. It had like magic systems. It had like there were like separate kingdoms and stuff. I've actually made like multiple art pieces based on this AU, but I've only ever drawn like Wizard Cookie as an adult. In this AU, like the junior cookies are adults and are taking the place of all the adult cookies and whatever, right? It was really edgy and it was really dumb, but I made it. In actuality, there is like another fan fiction I have. It wasn't on AO3, but I've written it in like my school notebook, and it's not with me right now. If people like this, then I'll read that out. The one in my school notebook was like much longer and was basically about like adult Wizard Cookie and Snow Sugar and Cream Puff, like meeting their younger selves because the younger selves did like a time traveling thing. It was really dumb. It was stupid, but it's fine. This fan fiction is basically the part in the story, during the part in the story where I forgot who died. Based on the character tags, I think Blueberry Pie Cookie died. This fan fiction is basically about like Wizard Cookie and Snow Sugar Cookie like dealing with the emotions of like Blueberry Pie Cookie dying. Oh my god. Dear god, this is so stupid. I guess content warning, character death, I guess, and like grief. And there's like Wizard Cookie also was like really mega depressed in this AU, I remember. So I wrote this when I was like 16, 15, so it was not like it wasn't a good depiction of depression. So oh god, yeah, this is my AO3. Aughts Rights is my AO3. You can find this fanfiction. Hell, I'll even link it in the description. You can read it and laugh at it if you want. Yeah, Aughts Rights, A Glimmer of Light. Summary: Wizard has lost something that kept him going. He feels like giving up. Good thing Snow Sugar is there to make sure he doesn't sink. Oh yeah, disclaimer, I'm not very good at reading, so sorry. As midnight approached and the gathering met its end, Snow Sugar and Cream Puff talked to each visitor before they left the castle. Words of empathy and comfort left each guest's mouth before they made their way home, returning back to their own families and loved ones. I'm sorry, Minchoko said while putting on his coat back on. I don't really know what else can be said. Snow Sugar nodded, far too tired to really respond. Or maybe it was the depressing air that was getting to them. Oh yeah, Snow Sugar is using they them pronouns because I remember Snow Sugar being non-binary, so I gave Snow Sugar they them pronouns. This is going to be hard for all of us. Cinnamon was a good friend, the violinist continued. Moving on will be difficult, so the only thing we can do is support each other. Wait, oh, Cinnamon died. Whoops. Snow Sugar took in the older man's words. They smiled at Mint Choco and gave a small thank you before shaking Mint's hand and waving the violinist goodbye. As Mint's figure disappeared into the castle's trail, Snow closed the castle's large doors behind him and leaned his back on the closed entryway. He looked back to the castle walls that were occupied by the grieving guests just a few moments ago. The walls were lit by chandeliers and the moonlight coming from the grand windows, yet the usually vibrant walls still looked dull, as if the castle itself was mourning for the loss of its two long-time inhabitants. Oh wait, did two people die in this? Cream Puff called out to them before they could sigh. Is that the last of them? Snow Sugar nodded once again with the same tiredness he gave to Mint Choco. Okay then, she shrugged, looking away. She pursed her lips as she mentally struggled with what to say next. The awkward silence wasn't on purpose. This is the first time these two childhood friends had seen each other in years now. Cream Puff had been busy with her own studies and had only recently come back after the news of cinnamons and blueberries after the news of cinnamons and blueberries passing spread to the Dark Kingdom. Oh, okay, so Cinnamon and Blueberry Pie Cookie died. Damn, we got a double whammy. Buy one, get one free, I guess. Is he okay? Snow Sugar asked her, their minds slowly coming back to them. He still locked himself in his room. He didn't respond when I called out for him. Snow Sugar looked down in concern. Of course Wizard was distraught by this. Of course he'd be grieving. Why would they have thought anything else? Him, Cinnamon, and Blueberry had a strong familial bond, and it only became stronger when Prophet passed just a few years back. Now that too has been taken away from Wizard. Yeah. This is such serious writing, like angsty scene here, but then the names, the character names, the grief had washed over them all. Nobody knew how they would move on from this. Snow Sugar, Wizard, and Cream Puff were just distraught. Like, I don't know how I could write this seriously with these names. I'll go talk to him. Snow walked away from the doors and passed by Cream Puff to the halls. You can leave any time you want. No, it's alright, Cream Puff replied. Snow Sugar stopped in his tracks and turned to face her in confusion. I think I'll stay for just a little bit longer. Looks like you'll be needing some extra pair of hands around here anyways. Snow Sugar knew it'd be impossible to sway Cream Puff now. She's become more confident and stubborn in her decisions than when she was a kid. They simply gave another tired smile. Thanks, Cream Puff, I think we'd appreciate that. They turned back to the halls and made their way to Wizard's room. I had to emphasize that Snow Sugar was tired again, as if the past, 2 lines didn't explain that correctly. He reached the corridor with Wizard's bedroom door. The door was dark blue and had a golden knob and frame. Snow remembered the time when it used to be decorated with golden star stickers, but were then removed when Wizard reached an older age and thought they were embarrassing. They still have those same exact stickers in the storage somewhere. Maybe he'd like to see or use them again. He knocked on the lodge door a few times and called out, Wizzy? Again! This is a very serious scene, but fucking Wizzy? Really? No response. Maybe he just needs some time alone, they thought to themselves, already making their steps back. He was immediately halted by the sound of someone crashing onto the floor and a sob. Oh my god, it's me. That wasn't Wizard, that's just me after I studied chemistry and physics. Wizzy! Snow Sugar slammed on the door. His heart started to race with worry. Wizard, are you okay? There was a slight moment of silence before the sound of rustling was heard, followed by a voice weakened from crying on the other side of the door. Do I sound okay? Wow, rude. Snow Sugar's heart was still beating fast and hard, but hey, at least he isn't dead yet? What happened? Snow Sugar leaned closer to the door and called out with a much calmer voice. I was trying to get up and I accidentally fell. Wizard's sentences were shaking a little. I'm fine, Snow, I really am. Snow Sugar didn't even need to say anything to know that Wizard was lying through his teeth. He didn't even need to say anything for Wizard to know that. Wiz, you haven't eaten anything at all today. You have to eat. I'll bring whatever you want to your room. Snow didn't want to force Wizard to come out if he didn't want to, but he didn't want Wizard to starve and hurt his health that way. Another few seconds of silence passed by before Wizard weakly replied, I don't want to eat. Come on, Wizzy, we both know that's a lie. I said I don't want to eat, okay? I don't think I can even eat right now, Wizard suddenly yelled. His voice was still shaking, but his message was clear. Snow felt hurt. They just wanted to check up on him. Why was he suddenly getting shouted at for showing concern to the person he loved? Oh yeah, I forgot to say. Wizard and Snow Sugar are dating because I had this friend named Sasu. Hey Sasu, if you're watching this, hello. But I had this friend that shipped Snow Wizard together, and I was like, oh, that's a cute ship, I'll ship them as well. And I decided to put it in this AU. They wanted to yell back, but then he remembered Min's words. This is going to be difficult for all of us. All we can do right now is support each other. Snow leaned onto what? Leaned onto with their back. What? We need some Grammarly up in here. I think it's just Snow leaned onto Wizard's door and sat down on the floor. I'm sorry if it feels like we're forcing you, they said quietly. We're all thinking that things will go back to normal, but in truth nothing is going to be the same again after this. I'm a murderer, Wizard replied through the door. Jesus, what? What? Wizard, you know that's not true. I'm the reason they died. Wizard's voice started shaking even more. If I wasn't an idiot, that monster would have gotten into the library, and Cinnamon and Blue wouldn't have needed to save me. Wizard, so please stay away from me. I don't want to hurt you or Cream Puff or anyone else too. I've probably already done it, but I just don't want to make it worse. Snow Sugar sat there in shock, but soon they felt nothing but sadness. Sad to know that Wizard thought that way, that he was somehow responsible for Cinnamon and Blueberry throwing themselves to danger for him, that he thought he would cause the same misfortune to everyone else around him. Snow leaned his head against the doorframe. Wizard, I said that nothing is ever going to go back the way it used to be. Right now everything is changing so much, but I know what isn't changing. It's not just my love, but everyone else's love and support for you, they said while closing their eyes. No matter how you feel about yourself, that isn't how many others feel for you, I assure you. You're just saying this to make me feel better, and you're just saying all these things to make yourself feel worse because you think you deserve it. Words can do a lot. Oh my god! Snow used some facts and logic onto Wizard's depression. It was super effective. God, Oh, Wizard, this is supposed to be family friendly. God, I frickin' hate you so much. Wizard said with a tone of defeat in his voice. Snow genuinely smiled a bit for the first time this whole day. I love you too. Another moment of silence passes. This time the silence weighed on them both much heavier. Snow pays attention to the night sky from the window on the wall in front of Wizard's door. The stars are looking pretty, Snow Sugar said. Can you see them from your window? Yeah, Wizard responded. If only Cinnamon and Blue were still here to see them. Snow chuckled a bit. Blueberry would try identifying the different constellations in the sky and or some other kind of pattern that she found in the book. Even on the other side of the door he could hear Wizard smile as he said. She would point each one out and go, Wizard, Snow Sugar, look, and talk about each one. Meanwhile, Cinnamon would just be in the background and talk about how everyone should be seeing the sky right now. Snow scratched his head. He'd probably start naming the stars. Wizard very audibly sighed. The freaking idiot. Snow Sugar chuckled even harder. I mean, the one I'm looking at right now looks like a bomb. Hashtag quirky! Shut the frick up, oh my god. The choice of words were aggressive, but Wizard was still laughing a little in his sentence. Snow Sugar smiled a little bit wider as he heard Wizard's laugh. They realized right then and there that he would do anything to protect that laugh of his. No matter what, they wanted to protect Wizard and do anything to keep him happy. The world around us can be cruel and cold, but it's still beautiful, Snow Sugar said melancholically while looking out the window. But its cruelty can sometimes overshadow its own beauty. When the frick did you start talking like Shakespeare? Wizard called him out, obvious frustration in his voice. Snow Sugar got Grammarly, I guess. Snow Sugar laughed at this statement. What I'm saying is the world is mean, but a part of it can be nice. Snow Sugar looked down to the floor, paying attention to the light of the night pouring out from the window. We just need someone by our side to make the not-so-nice parts of this world a little more bearable. And usually that someone needs to be ourselves first. Snow Sugar closed his eyes once more, but not even sure if what he's saying is reaching Wizard at this point. Wizzy, no matter what, you have everyone with you right now. Me, Cream Puff, Alky's Alchemist Cookie, I think, Vampire, and so many other people that care for you. A second passes and notices Snow Sugar sighs and looks back to the window. The stars are beautiful. A bit of a shame to give that up right now, isn't it? He closes his eyes once more. Especially since the people we love right now are gone. Might as well enjoy it for them. Snow Sugar, your man's is depressed. I don't think he needs to be preached. Just as they expected for another moment of silence to pass, the sound of the dark blue door unlocking could be heard. Snow Sugar quickly stood back up and face the opening entryway of Wizard's room. I don't know why I stumbled there, sorry. And there was Wizard himself, looking down as if in shame, standing there with a dark cloak over his face and enveloping the rest of his body. When he looked up, his tear-stained olive-tanned face What? Oh my god. Tear-stained olive-tanned face. What else? His freaking blue orbs as well were clouded with grief, looking back to Snow with red puffy eyes. The look of the state he was in broke Snow Sugar's already broken heart into a million pieces, and they hugged him almost instinctively. Wizard was already tired from crying, but the warm feeling of being physically comforted was too much for him, and soon the tears started flowing again. Both of them stood there for as long as they wanted. This hug alone made them both feel even more okay than any kind of piece of advice or words of empathy could make them feel. I just don't know what to do, Wizard sobbed into Snow Sugar's shoulder. Where do we go from here? Snow Sugar brought their hand to Wizard's head and pulled him closer to the hug. I don't know. Wizard could only cry even harder as he held onto Snow Sugar, as if it was going to be the last time they'll ever hug. Oh my god, sorry, that was my family. Wizard could only cry even harder as he held onto Snow Sugar, as if it was going to be the last time they'll ever hug like this. After a few minutes of sobbing and Wizard had calmed down, Snow Sugar brought both of their foreheads together and looked straight into his partner's eyes. I don't know what's going to happen from here, but all I do now is that I will be there with you no matter what happens next. So the next time you feel like you can't go on and need a break, or the next time you feel like crying or venting your feelings out, I'm right here. I'll always be here for you to depend on me. And with that, the grieving couple cried out every bit of emotion they felt at that moment. Underneath the beautiful night sky that blessed the two lovers and promised even the slightest bit of hope for the future. Wow. Wow, that's it. 13 kudos though, not gonna lie. Maybe I should write some more fanfiction. Got comments on this? What did people say? Ouch, wow, how do you write? Who wrote the 13 kudos though, not bad, not bad, not bad. 16-year-old me. That's a fanfiction. I remember working on this for like so long. I remember working on this like a week on I was like rewriting this on Google Docs, and I didn't like have other people like proofread it either because I wanted it to be a surprise for like the other people, for like my other friends. But I ended up showing them anyways, so I was like, or maybe I didn't tell them. I don't actually remember how I treated this fanfiction, but like, yeah. Oh, I didn't see that tag. Cinnamon and Blueberry are freaking dead. I thought only one of them died. Whoops. I don't know really what else to say about this fanfiction, really. I mean, I guess it's just really melodramatic. It's like so... I don't know why I decided to have my first fanfiction be angst. It's so melodramatic. It's just... yeah. Yeah. This is my only work. I don't know. Maybe I'll write more if I have any ideas. Maybe I'll do fanfiction on this AU again. Maybe I'll revisit it again. But yeah, that's my old cringy fanfiction. If you enjoyed it, I don't know why you would enjoy it, but like if you thought it was funny. This is just a quick video because I have other like projects and studying stuff I gotta do. So if you liked it, I guess do the typical YouTube stuff. Subscribe, like the video, my socials, whatever. Commission me if you want. That's it. Stay safe, my foresty friends. Bye bye.